back. I'd like to say again, our new undefined king, Mr. Ryan. He is our king for the day. We are all losers on this side. Don't worry about it. Our next segment is...
Hold on. Before we get to our next segment, the King Proclamation, 1 minute uninterrupted for any King me. And Ryan gets his 1 minute interruption right now.
I don't even need a minute. All I got to say as King me is, you know, I think everybody should be open to accepting people and accepting people for who they are. You know, before you decide to stop fucking with somebody, just accept them for who they are. You know, like people, everybody can't.
You are very gracious, King, because I'm not going to be. I'm so happy you're going to
I'm gonna be the most vicious.
We just said
king
about interrupting the King's
but it was uninterrupted, so there is a punishment.
Accept him for who he is. He's going to interrupt.
We do, and that's why he got punished for talking over the King. Don't do that shit, kids. King me gets 1 minute interrupted, and you fucked
That's
up.
all I have to say. Yeah, acceptance. That was my only key.
You lucky that's your cousin, because if it was me, I knocked upside the head, been a lot worse. All right, so continue on with our very first segment, political correctness. Now, do be mindful throughout this episode if Ryan decides to make us do something because he's that kind of king, which apparently he's not because he's nice about it, which
he's
I'm
gracious.
not going to be.
I wouldn't.
He's allowed to tell us do whatever he feels like. Okay, so we have no choice but to do it. It is what it is. There are limitations to anything, by the way. Just to make that clear.
I was going to tell you to off yourself. Just halfway.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I'm not killing myself on this. So
Wash, go stand on the balcony. Just think about it.
No. That's death. No. Long story short, the balcony, it kind of didn't hold people up like it was supposed to, and there was never an incident. But we're not getting into that today. What we're going to do next is get into political correctness, which is part of PC versus PC, is the very first part. Now, if any point during any topic that you feel like stuff is kind of going too far left, you have to cut it off. You have to say your piece. You hit the gold button. Now, no one's going to hit their gold button yet, follow, until that moment. Now, you get one an episode. That's it. One episode. So if you waste it now, that's it for you. So Bala just wasted his. That's it.
I ain't waste nothing. We been talking about that.
I deal with children on a daily basis. This is my COD crew, and you understand why when Ryan and I split up, we go our way. These two idiots go the other. Black Rambos. No, you don't. You don't. That's the funny part. You don't survive. Ryan.
Sometimes they survive. No, you know, Bala be getting a little luck.
50-50 shot. 50-50 shot. It's a 50-50 shot.
I am one critical kill away today.
I'm 2 critical kills away from driving home alone. So it is what it is.
So much hate.
Glad to be working for me here in a minute. All right, so getting on to the topic at hand, political correctness. Now, the reason we bring up this topic is because it is kind of a hot topic of today. People trying to correct each other on every little thing they say. There's a time and a place for everything. So we're going to discuss when that time and place is okay, and of course when you feel like that's just too much to handle. So kick us off. I'm gonna let Ryan kind of get us introduced and go from there.
Here we go.
Okay.
So political correctness, how I feel about that. I feel like it is necessary. A lot of people may feel like it's a cushion, but I just feel like it's necessary. What I don't feel is that everybody should be so well versed in like it universally. I feel like there's so many ways to be politically incorrect. You know what I mean? And it's not your job to know how to be politically correct when dealing with the LGBT community if you're not part of it or don't deal with it. Or it's not your job to be politically correct with sex workers if you don't know sex workers. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might not want to be called a hooker, but I mean, you don't know what else to call them. You don't know their lingo. You don't know how they see themselves. You know what I'm saying? Some of them want to be called an escort. Some of them want to be called, you know, you don't know. When it comes down to a community, you kind of don't know what it means to be politically correct there unless you're part of that community or you have people that's close to you that are part of that community. And if you do, at that point, I think you should be politically correct because you have somebody close to you who's gay or who's a frontline worker or who's this or who's that. So you should try to be politically correct for them in that standpoint.
I mean, that's true and valid. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything. But my biggest pet peeve with it is you get to the point where everyone wants to correct you on every little thing you say. Perfect example, the word retarded. there's a lot of people that just feel like that word shouldn't be used. And quite frankly, I work in Durham, North Carolina. If you've been through Durham, North Carolina, you understand why that word is very appropriate for a lot of people that are there. The truth of the matter is there's just some words that it should not offend you to that extent. Obviously, I'm not talking about someone who has a mental retardation issue, but again, it's a word. Like if it's going to offend you, then it should only offend you if that applies to you to that extent. Otherwise, it's just a fucking word. Like chill the fuck out, calm down.
Or as well as if you have somebody like, for instance, if your sister works with mentally disabled people and she takes that the wrong way, you should understand because you have somebody close to you that, all right, that's not politically correct for me to say around her in her space. You know what I'm saying? Because it means something different for her. That's all I mean. So yeah, you're right.
My thing is just this, like, so if I start calling people handicapped, right?
I mean, it applies to some people.
It applies to some people, but no one wants to be called handicapped.
Or short bus.
I mean, some people don't mind themselves being handicapped though, but if they have somebody, if they're handicapped, and like for instance, I don't mind the word faggot, but when I hear it and I see it affect somebody else who's gay, I want to defend them. You understand what I'm saying? Just because it doesn't bother me doesn't mean that it's not going to bother somebody else. You understand what I'm saying? So at that point, it should matter only of those who are close to you. I'm not telling you to go outside to the nearest stranger and be like, you acting dumb, but I don't want to call you retarded. So let me no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying though is if you have people who's close to you and they like, stop using that word, like I don't like that word or da 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 da, and that's somebody you care for, then just understand why. You might be like, oh, that's not a big deal. I'm just saying a word, but understand for them, it may not be politically correct. That's all.
I just don't like where political correctness is being used to cancel people. This whole cancel culture of you didn't say the right words or the right verbiage, no one wants to hear your side of the story, end of it. That's a crutch. To me, get over yourself. Who the hell made you the police of words?
That's the strangers though. That's what I'll be talking about with the strangers. Like, who gives a fuck about millions of those people? That's what I'll be like, fuck them. Like, if you on your social media and you say something and a million people say, I don't like that. That's like a million personal problems. That's not like a million personal problems and you ain't got one. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, now given, if you know you are athlete or whatever, and you can't say certain things because of your contract, you know what you're doing. You know you should have been
money involved, shut up.
Well, that's my thing. Is anytime you hear athletes sit here and say, which has been a big problem lately, anti-Semitic remarks, right? Now, as an athlete, you shouldn't feel like, well, I can just say this because I can get away with it. And then when they punish me, oh, well, they're taking out on me because of X, Y, Z. You signed a contract. They said, hold on.
See, here's what I have.
You would have hit that button if you got a problem. Okay, there you go.
All right.
All the way. You can play that shit. Play that stupid ass sound I got to listen to on a regular basis.
Let it ring within your soul. Now, the only problem I have with that situation is that when you use it to legitimately go back in their past and find something from 5 years ago that they texted and go, oh, remember that one thing you said on Tuesday on the March 9th, that on 12th of July? Yeah. Oh, remember you told me that you was a racist? What the fuck were you going back that for? Like, years.
This is an example. This is not me.
That's not you.
Make that
but
clear.
These are the examples as in, like, why are you going
back?
backwards? Our job is to move forward in the future. Time only goes in one direction. So when you go back in the past 5 years to figure out somebody's racist remarks, you don't know if they changed. You didn't ask if they changed. They may have a different set of mind. That person could have got his ass jumped by a bunch of black people, and he called people the N-word from then on. You don't. Here's
the problem. I'm talking about current day situations going on. Look at Ice Cube alone. That was current day. That was just last year, still making those remarks. You want support for the black community, but then you're shaming an entire other community in the process. Like, you can't sit here and ask for help and then you're going to shame someone else in the process. Same thing with black folk. I'm going to tell you something. If you want to shit on white people all day, then don't come to me and ask me for help later. Don't sit here and say, I need your help, but then try to dictate how I'm helping.
There's a difference between kissing people's asses and they're asking for help.
Right.
No one says pucker up.
No,
we're saying act like a human being. Use actual words. Construct yourself as in the way, like,
understand your platform too. You have to understand your platform. And it's true. Like, yes, I don't think someone should be held accountable for something they said maybe 10, 20 years ago, because people do change. Because you've seen people, for example, where one of our deceased brothers, who was a congressman, dealt with a situation where someone, violently attacked him, was part of the KKK and everything else, but years later, changed the person, came back and apologized. People can't change even from the extremes, but the biggest problem with political correctness today is not situations like anti-Semitic remarks or racist remarks or whatever the case may be. It's the simple things that people get so bent out of whack over that try to dictate every little thing you say and how you move throughout life. That's my big issue. As far as like some things that should not be said, some things should not be said. Obviously, I'm not going to sit in here, room full of black people, and say the N word to the top of my lungs.
See, here's the thing. I say, if you are brave enough to say it, you are brave enough to see the consequences of it. You get your ass beat for it, hey, that's your fault. But you should have the right to say it. That's it. If you can't take words, walk out. I'm sorry, there's so many ways you can do it. Turn off the television,
That's
walk
America.
off, do something. But don't just try to cancel the person's opinion or view or where they look without even trying to open up and say, you know what?
This is what you have to understand about cancel culture. Like cancel culture is doing exactly what you just said. Like it is them walking out. It is them saying something back. It is them, because at the end of the day, cancel culture doesn't mean that you lose your contract. What cancel culture means is you stop getting streams. Like that's what the fuck it means. It means that people stop buying tickets to your team's shows because they think you're racist. It means,
but when
like,
people are rallying behind it, talking about don't buy your tickets because it is.
Okay, people rally behind. Everybody rallied behind Nicki Minaj in the troll video with her titties out. People rally for anything.
Okay,
like, what are you talking
But-
about? Like, why you
no,
making
but
it
here's the
seem like
problem.
they-
You can't sit here and make an exception for one person and not make an exception for somebody else.
They're
That's how the
like, they
ripple
rally
effect
for
now
everything.
goes.
You gotta understand that the people are the
If people want to
They-
be upset about something, they have the right to be upset
Thank
about
you. Yeah, Julian. Yeah,
Like,
Julian's right.
My thing
If they-
is, Ryan knows I would never say something like this to someone else, but I would joke with him and call him a rainbow pissing unicorn with butterfly wings. That's what I call him. Ryan's not gonna take offense to that because that's my brother, love him to death. If somebody else called him called him a faggot, I would beat the living hell out of him. We would all
And I
jump
don't
in and get
trust-
in that fight. But behind closed doors, when we're on COD, probably gonna say it, unless he's streaming, then I'm not that stupid. But in that moment, I can joke with him because I understand our relationship with each other. Then it's one thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say. It's a mutual relationship. There's respect there before anything else. Even if we wake up tomorrow and have an issue with each other, there is respect to be literally a foundation of respect to fix the problem on. I don't know no stranger to walk up to me and be like, "Oh, excuse me, back." I'm fighting. Personally for me, I'm fighting. Like my friends gonna be like, "What you doing?" I'm gonna be like, "I don't know. I'm hot. Just give me a sec." Taking off jewelry.
It's chain already, he's getting all fine, See, that's it. I can make fun of his mannerisms because I'm his brother. But if you come up to Ryan and you start making, then it's gonna be another he's scrawny, y'all. He's a skinny motherfucker, but he's fiery.
No, it's usually the people around.
Like,
he has an entourage, and that's why I say
Ryan does have an entourage. He does not go anywhere alone.
I am Spider-Man.
You may see him over here in the corner, chilling by himself, but he's not alone.
If you've ever watched the Avengers, if you ever watched Marvel, I am Spider-Man. Okay, I'm the guy that swings in, and you think you're gonna whip my ass, and you probably are. Because I'm really, really full of myself. But the Hulk or anybody could come, just passing by. Like they could just Spider-Man.
Just passing by.
Just passing by.
This man got spies in the streets.
You don't know. You don't know with Ryan. You really don't. Now watch. I mean, you've been kind of quiet. So I know.
Yeah. How do you feel about PC, Wash?
I mean, the way I look at it, so I work in the cellular industry, so I have to be cautious of how I present myself to people. So I can literally call you stupid for not understanding something simple on the phone that you wanted. But I have to say, oh, no, it's okay. It's just a system software glitch. Let me walk you through. Like, some people don't know how to pay their bill online.
Even though the system software glitches.
Even though it's a whole thing we set up on your phone. I said, okay, I'm so sorry. Our systems must be down. Let me walk you through it. Now, deep down inside, I be talking cash shit about people. And when you walk out that door, best believe it's coming out. If you piss me off, it's going to come out. So essentially being politically correct, it's a time and place for everything, but we do live in America. We're a free country, so you're going to always say what you want to say. I actually advise people to say what you want to say, just because you shouldn't be fake. But it's a time and place for everything. Understand your consequences that's going to come with it. And can you accept your consequences? Me, I accept all my consequences. If I argue with somebody, I mean everything I say. I don't apologize, no matter how bad it was. Yeah, that's pretty much how I stand on it.
Sugarcoating is another problem.
Um,
My thing is, it to me, it creates more arguments down the road, be it friendship, relationships, employer, you name it. It creates more issues if you try to sugarcoat something in the beginning and then come back later and it's still not fixed. Being direct doesn't necessarily mean you have to be rude. It doesn't mean you necessarily have to call somebody out their name. But at the same time, if I can't just say what I need to say and you just take it for what it is, and it hurts your feelings because I said that you're an irresponsible person that doesn't know how to manage their freaking money, that's your own fucking problem. And same thing with this show. If you don't like this show, there's that little button that you can hit red X and go watch something else. You can mute this shit. You same thing on Instagram. If you don't like it, scroll on through.
Especially if you got the facts behind it. If you got the facts, you already took it.
The last thing
I
want to
say, if you got facts backing you up, then
the last thing I want to say on this PC situation as well is know your power. Along with Julian said with your platform, if you know you got power, please don't act stupid, because yes, we're going to like chat ass up. Yes, we're gonna light that ass up. Like, you're not dumb, you're not stupid, you got money, you got power. Like, you knew when you said that people was gonna go get their guns. You understand what I'm saying? Like, why would you do that? You understand what I'm saying?
All
Like,
right, come on.
So-
See, that's where I have to, a little bit. I'm not trying to cut off the king because the king, but here's what I say: personal responsibility comes involved. If I say let's storm a castle and I'm the only one outside storming the castle, that's my fault. But if I say storm the castle and 50 other people join me, those 50 other people have to take care of
but
themselves.
what I'm saying is, if that was your first encounter, if that was your first encounter, and you was like, oh, I want to storm this castle, and all of a sudden 50 people just came out of nowhere and started helping you, you was like, oh, this never happened before. That's different.
Right.
But when you're the president of the United States,
months,
and people have been listening to you forever.
Okay.
Don't forget, he talked about January 6th back in November before he even technically lost.
Thank you.
He was already saying, I know I'm about to lose this shit. Let me go ahead and start plotting. Let me say in December, on Christmas Day, Merry Christmas, everyone. Have a wonderful day. By the way, January 6th is about to be lit. Just there. By that point, you have already set the wheels in motion. There was no stopping.
Thank you. Like,
except with him saying
that's that
the word,
acting stupid part, Bala. I'm sorry. That's that acting stupid part.
I'm still at the point that Trump is the president we deserved, and I'm still with it.
No, I'm not going to.
I don't have a
That's
problem.
a whole other discussion for like political. You're not wrong from the standpoint of if you don't get out and vote, you really have no one to blame but yourself.
And I also don't have a problem with people having to have personal responsibility. Yes, those people went out there, but understand your stardom. Understand that you were a star before you were a president. You understand that? You have stardom. We all know. We seen Michael Jackson. We done seen Beyonce. We done seen so many people, whether they white, black, any color. If you a star, oh, we saw what happened to Selena. They murdered her ass. Listen, you a star. Anything can happen to you out here. Anything. They shot Versace in front of his house. Like, if you are a star, people lose their minds. Okay, that is what happens. So when you go and act dumb, that's like acting stupid.
And rest in peace, DMX. Let me get that clear. We all, jam out to DMX
rest in peace.
all day.
Rest in peace. Icon.
However, again, if I were to go out right now and say what I really feel in this moment is great if you want to pay your respects to DMX, but to ignore the fact that all of you have been silent, or when I say all, I mean, you know who you are. If it applies to you, if it don't, again, this goes back to political correctness bullshit. If it doesn't apply to you, keep it moving. But a lot of you go on Instagram, mass shootings happening all over the country. Yes, some have been racially motivated, some have not, and you're all silent as shit. So you want to use your voice and platform on certain instances, but you won't recognize the real issues. Yes, it's sad DMX died, man died of a heart attack. They'll get the autopsy back, but people are actually being shot up in droves over the last 2 weeks. We have a gun control issue, which we will get to at a later date. However, when we're talking about using your words and how it influences people, you can't act like some of the hate that was stirred up over the last 4 years still is not ripple affecting its way to today. Some of that's still rippling. So you can't say your words don't affect other people and you can't be held accountable for what you say, because there are some people that have a star power that people just listen to, regardless of who they are. Regardless if they're right or wrong, doesn't matter. They have a star power and people want to listen to it because people want to believe in something. Most people need to believe in someone or something or some ideology or some idol. Well, in this case, these people have believed in this man, believed in things he said.
This is the issue that I have with this.
He's part of the problem. It's not he is the problem. We've had a problem for over 200 years in this fucking country that we can't move on past because politicians, newsrooms, whether it be CNN or Fox, it doesn't matter.
But can we take a pause for a second though? Because in reality, I understand what you're saying, that the situation with DMX is sad or whatever, but there's other things going on. But I watched the world go silent when Kobe Bryant crashed in that helicopter. And at the end of the day, DMX is dead ass a fucking icon. And I've always fucked with DMX. I don't even like male rap. And everyone know his songs. And at the end of the day, he's had one of the largest concerts ever in history. He has had a continent come out to see him. So at the end of the day, the world should be acknowledging like it's more than sad, because at the end of the day, what happened to him because the community did not take care of DMX. He was on his own. He was addicted to drugs heavily. He has a lot of money. He has a lot of stardom. He has a lot of heaviness on his shoulders, and the way that he dealt with it was with drugs. You understand what I'm saying? And all to stop that problem, all you need is help. All you need is a support system, and he did not have that. So instead, we lost somebody who we could have had more years with, who was an icon, who has impacted a lot of lives. We lost them for nothing. That is sad. That is just as sad as a helicopter blowing up for no reason. It is very sad. That is very, very sad, because at the end of the day, if somebody had just showed him support in those moments where he was down, where he wanted to relapse, because he's gotten off and relapsed multiple times. So that didn't have to happen. You understand what I'm saying? But it did, and it's unfortunate. The same thing with Kobe Bryant. It did, and it's unfortunate. So I think if there are people who are using their platform to give DMX the light and respect that he deserves, I think that is just as warranted as a mass shooting that happened 5 minutes ago.
And it is. And that's what I said. I do not have a problem with you doing it. My problem is, again, you're talking about using your words and using your platform, but no one's doing it for any of those issues at all.
Right.
Instead, and you're posting like this fine ass chick on Insta that's never going to talk to you. You're sitting here talking about, what you're eating tonight and getting sushi night or going to the gym or drinking or whatever the case may be. You're ignoring the other really tragic things that are going on. So although, again, I have no problem. You want to show your love to DMX, by all means, go right ahead, do it. It's your platform to use your words as you feel. But I do feel like you can't continue to ignore certain issues when they do prop up.
But here's the issue.
And if all these people were getting shot out where we're black, it'd be all over the timeline. But because they're Asian and white, they're ignored.
But here's the thing, though. Most people, and I say generally, including myself, if that shit has nothing to do with me, I don't care. It honestly, I don't.
That's not coming from a negative place.
But that's not
actually coming from a negative place either. Like when he says he doesn't care, that's coming from actually a human instinct. It is insane that the world doesn't realize that you even knowing what's going, me talking to y'all right now, knowing what's happening in New York City is a blessing. In 1960 something, you could not know what was happening in New York City unless you got your ass on a train or in a car, even if I don't think they had those, on a horseback, and get your ass.
You said 1960 something, yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just 60.
Old motor vehicles. Those are old.
Bro, you ride the horse in 1960.
Like you may want to try Ryan. You may want to try 18.
That's fine. That's fine. You was gonna call them a little pay phone or whatever. You still wasn't gonna be finding out. You could go on Groupon right now and tell me what clubs is gonna be open tonight. You can't do that. You could not do that before. Like the world is highly overconnected. You should not have to give a fuck about what's happening in China. You're not in China. That is not your problem. You
now
should
that
not
you
have to
have
about
this
what's
opportunity,
I'm one of the most caring people in the world, but I just think it is insane to think that the human brain, if that was the case, we would not have needed a phone to reach over miles to communicate with somebody. We would have been like, boom, 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 and we were supposed to be knowing what was happening over there. We're not supposed to know what's happening to a billion people at once.
Let me ask you this, though.
Your brain.
So, and I'm not saying this to be cruel because I was just upset what happened. I don't know George Floyd, so why should I give a shit?
And this is what I'm getting at. No one told
I'm
you
not
to
like,
care.
let me make this
No
clear
one,
for the
no
record.
one told you to
That shit
care.
was
No
wrong.
one
and
told
Derek-
you to. No
Ryan,
one told you to.
I gotta say this so the audience understands. I hope Derek Chauvin spends as much time in fucking jail as humanly possible for what he did, because he murdered that man. But I'm just using that as a counterpoint, just saying, if
Yeah,
you're
no,
not
I
gonna care
completely
about this,
understand.
why should I care
Julian,
about
we've
that?
had this
You know what I'm saying?
conversation, so I already knew that. But yeah, you
Yeah,
definitely.
but the audience
For the
doesn't know.
beauty
That's
of-
the thing.
yeah, for the
We've had
audience,
this
that's-
discussion, but the audience
Um,
doesn't know.
I
So
don't,
we're gonna make that.
and I don't
clear.
really feel like that's a counter. I feel like it's actually a good question to be asked. I feel like you, the right person to ask the question. At the end of the day, this is what I'm getting at. If you did not have social media, if you did not have media, only thing that you possibly would have seen was stuff that's on TV.
I
If
see
there
what
was no
Ryan's saying.
technology or
I see
nothing
what
like
he's
that,
saying, though.
you wouldn't have even
Yeah.
heard about George Floyd. Do you
True.
understand that? So at that
But now that
point,
we have it, we should take more advantage of it.
but understand that people aren't going to do that right because the human brain was not built to do that. The human brain was
Was
not
it, or did we
meant-
program it not to?
No, it's not
Was
that we
that shit
didn't
not
program it not to. The human brain was built. People like Einstein have come up with the fucking equation of gravity, and he did not scroll on social media once in his life. Your
wasn't.
brain was not built to wrap your mind around information that's not happening to you.
I honestly think that's true.
Einstein was able to figure out gravity not because people were sending him stuff from different places. He was sitting downstairs in a basement with the shit in front of him and wrapped his mind around the shit.
But he was trying to figure out how to advance humankind. So therefore, he was thinking of other people.
Well, here's the thing.
No,
we don't know
that-
when he was doing it. We could have just been in the basement trying to.
You don't know what anyone's thinking. But however,
He
my
didn't
point
care.
is, but
It
he
just
did,
happened
but
to help
he didn't
everybody.
have some of this advantage. We have this advantage. You have a responsibility that when you
But
have
what
these
I'm
platforms,
saying
have
is
this
you
option,
could call it
you're
an
not
advantage
using
all
it. To
you want.
me,
Just understand that it's a
that's
blessing and a
shortcoming of
curse.
humans. But my thing
But
is,
understand that
that's
it's a
also,
blessing and a curse. So when you say that there's
It is a
people
curse.
who, when you say that there's people who, there's people who are posting what they're gonna eat, they posting what they. Do you think that they came on here and post something to eat because they're the first person in the world to ever do that, or you think they saw somebody else do that, so they was influenced to post what they eat because they come on here and they see what other people was eating? Do you understand what I'm saying? Everybody's not going to use this thing the way that you expecting them to use it for the most important things. Because how could you expect them to wrap their mind around all of that? I still know people who don't even use social media.
I guess, Ryan, I guess the reason I feel that way is because all last year I had to hear on a consistent basis why I wasn't vocal enough or support enough. This white silence shit all last year when shit was going on, I was just quiet. I felt how I felt, of course, but I wasn't using my Insta or whatever, which I barely post on, to post that. So it's like, if I'm going to get condemned for being silent on certain issues, then, and people are going to hold me accountable for certain things, then everyone needs to be held accountable, period. So it's either we're living in a world where you just do you, or we're living in a world where everyone needs to start getting behind these real issues that we have going on. It's one or the other. You can't just find yourself in the middle base of you choose when to jump in and give a shit. Either you do or you don't.
Well, and it's a common fact in the world. You can't get anywhere without anybody's help. You're not doing anything by yourself. It's impossible.
The way that I honestly feel about that is that I don't think people
That
pick
still
and choose.
helps someone giving you something.
I don't think people pick and choose. I think like Will Smith said, when everybody thought around the time that you're talking about, where everybody thought like racism was getting worse or something, I think like Will Smith said, which was a very important saying, it's not that racism got worse, it just started getting recorded. And at that point, like I said, at the beginning of my counter argument, I just feel like if we didn't have social media, y'all wouldn't have even known about George Floyd, and there wouldn't have been no outrage, and there wouldn't have been no problem. But at the end of the day, like, we were forced to watch George Floyd. To hear about a shooting, oh, there was a mass shooting. Yes, that's sad, but you didn't see that. Like, you had to watch that jaw cringing shit from somebody's police cam, and that's a different situation. That, for instance, if somebody close to you died, you know what I'm saying? God forbid you came home, somebody's dead. Of course, you're crying, whatever, But imagine how you feel somebody choked to death right in front of you. That's a whole different feeling. Like, you could not do anything about it. You know how many people felt helpless? How many people could put them, you watching it, you could put yourself in that predicament. You could put yourself underneath that nigga, that person's knee. You like, I can't, of course you're upset. of course you're upset. And that's why I said social media is a blessing and a curse. People aren't meant to see certain things. Everything ain't for everybody's eyes. At the end of the day, I'm somebody who wants to be something on social media. So I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I can deal with it. I see things that is like crazy. I'm like, whoop, that shit is crazy, and move on. No, some people will see one thing and that'll affect their whole day. They'll go tell everybody about that video that they saw. They'll go stop what they're doing, whether it's something about race, whether it's somebody getting their ass whipped on World Star. They didn't even get further down the shit. They saw that one person get their ass beat good enough, and they was like, I'm telling everybody, I'm good for the I'm watched this video 6 more times. Like, that's how people are. They don't use, everybody's not going to use social media to advance humankind. Like, that's just not going to happen.
Well,
and
social
honestly,
media feeds what it wants, though. Like, it feeds the audience that wants it. So it's like I
Thank
play
you.
the food in front of you at a buffet. Oh, this
because
person got
I
shot
see
up.
things like
that.
the stuff that you're talking about, Julian, that you said that you don't see. I see those posts. I see posts. Like, for instance, I follow a place called the Neighborhood Talk. I see all types of news. I see people getting shot. I saw when the Asians first started getting beat on and stuff, the Neighborhood Talk was talking about that last summer when they first started getting beat on and stuff because of the coronavirus and things like that in America. Like, I've been knew about topics like this, and that's why I'm well versed.
Just being
talking about using your words, and that was just trying to piggyback on what we said earlier. That was obviously perpetuated by one person pushing a certain narrative.
But that's what I'm saying.
So,
the neighborhood talk is not one person. The Neighborhood Talk, I've also, Bala can show you, that's a page that has
no,
like
no, I'm saying those attacks were perpetrated by people who listened to one person.
Oh, well, yeah, duh. But you have to understand that. And that goes all the way back to the Donald Trump shit.
Okay.
Like,
So I mean, we all understand how powerful the words that you use and actions that you commit are. And I just feel like too many people have more power than they realize, and they're just not utilizing.
Okay, that's why political correctness exists.
Okay, things you have to understand. The news, you have to realize the news has a narrative.
Sorry, Steve.
They're not trying to tell you the facts. They're trying to tell you their point of view. That's it.
That's CNN, Fox all day. Both
It's Fox, CNN,
and
all of them.
MSNBC.
They call themselves bipartisans, but they're not. They're pushing a narrative that they want you to listen to. They're not going to tell you the whole fact. They're just going to tell you the facts that they need you to hear to side with them. That's it. And depending on what platform you get, it's completely one-sided. Or sometimes, they actually bring somebody in who likes to talk and, stand their ground. But you have to understand, the news, yes, it does inform you, but just read between the lines. Are they trying to educate you, or are they just trying to shove something down your throat? Like, think about it. If you're looking at, how can I put this? If you're looking at gun violence, we need better gun control. 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 Have they ever tried getting a gun? Everybody say, it's easy to get a gun. No, it's not.
That we can tackle when we get to that topic.
But get to that topic.
But I think we've gotten to the point where we definitely understand every word that you say does matter to an extent, but there are certain times and places when it just shouldn't matter to you. With some things that people try to correct you on, using your platform is dependent upon how you want to use it, which is true. But there also is an opportunity if you can use it to perpetuate positive things or just real things for that are being ignored. Like, that's what part of what Speak On is for. That's why the four of us came together to do this, was to have this platform to push, as well as pushing entrepreneurs, which we will get to our sponsor here in a moment. So the point is, Speak On It is a show that gives you a lot, and it also is for some entertainment factor. So
anybody who wants to join in this topic, please comment down below. We will answer you. I will personally answer in the first 10 to 20 minutes.
The three of us are gonna make this clear. If anybody answers, it's him.
I'm letting you know right now.
Not
I'm
us.
ruthless.
It's nothing personal. It's just I don't have the time.
I do
to respond to all you, because Ryan and I are working very hard on getting all this shit together. Wash is working on financial parts, and plus he is married with a kid. So Ryan's got his own business. I've got me working towards my career choice.
Well, I'll definitely look at comments. It doesn't
I'm gonna look and I'm gonna observe. But
if you at us specifically, like if you at us, if you ask Julian, you put the at in Julian's specific question, he will answer. Like, he's not a dick. We will answer. If you
not completely ignoring you. Now, if I don't get back to you that day, I mean, it's something personal. I'm gonna get to you eventually.
I'm gonna steal his slogan. I am Captain Petty.
No, you cannot steal my song. I am Captain Petty. Okay, I actually have a t-shirt at home that I'm working on that says, like, you need to know who the fuck I am, Captain Petty. Okay, I mean, you think about putting a cape on that bitch so y'all understand. When it comes to pettiness, Slim Shady up here, okay? Shadiness, like it comes real as fucking me. But that's all we gotta really do for PC. We can always expand on these topics more in the future. But the truth is, you can see how you can have these discussions. They escalate a little bit, but the truth is, you get back to common ground and you move forward, because at the end of the day, you're still boys. We're still friends. There ain't no changing that. All right, so let's take a quick break. Let's shoot over to our sponsor, let him do whatever he plans on doing. And we're gonna take a first look at his brand new product that just released as soon as we get done. We'll be right back. All right, guys, what's up? We're back. I just want to go ahead and continue to talk about Obsidian just a little bit further. Now, our line brother Wash, who obviously has disappeared because that's hard to miss. This is the new bag that came in. Of course, it got shipped to me a few days ago, but I wanted to wait till the day to open it up. Of course, I thought this was a very personalized bag, nice message, emblem right up here. And so I figured out it's a fucking sticker. Good job, Obsidian. Y'all fooled the shit out of me. It's a fucking sticker on a bag that he must have found online. But it's cool. It's still a great bag, and it fooled the shit out of me. And it's on the backside too. Really to fuck with your mind. But that's cool. So let's just go ahead and open this up real quick. And we're gonna go ahead and get down to the black box. Now, you're gonna see a little dust on here, but that's okay. It's in shipping. You know how it goes. So Obsidian, the black box. That means you've gone and you've ordered everything that this can come with. All right. So obviously, I've been very fortunate. Everything's come in. We're looking at Obsidian right here, looking at a nice little card, making himself official on both sides. You know how beautiful that looks. I mean, there's some time and effort that's gone into this completely.
Also, please note, if you go to the website on the card, you can see the ingredients. Therefore,
You can. Ryan, just of course, the owner of Obsidian, make sure, and he's right here. Obviously, that's why he's got Obsidian in the damn background. So you can see it. This is all his product, but we're going to push it because it's a great fucking product. It will let you know everything that's in there. Ryan's not going to give you anything that, you know, might not work
As
for
well
you.
as not to cut you off, Julian. Thank you
No,
so
no,
much.
no problem.
I just wanted to let you guys know that I decided to actually put it right there, so you can't zoom in. But if you look at the top of the box, the ingredients are right there in the inside. I decided to. So I decided to just stick it right there inside, just in case anybody was having a problem with remembering what they ordered or whatever. I just thought it'd be fair. So.
And for those of you that don't know, the simplest thing to do with these, right? It's not just to look pretty in the box. Put this in your bathroom and just leave it in one spot. Let that shit steam up in there, and your bathroom will be smelling amazing. Like, it's okay to be a heterosexual male and not want your bathroom to smell like pure tea shit, okay? Just reality.
First off,
you should have spray or something in there.
Not
Come
smell
on.
like a locker room.
Like you a man, that's cute and all, you know, but dude, come on, stop smelling like a locker room. That's the best way to put it. This lotion, Ryan, anything you gotta say about the lotion?
So the lotion is really honestly a protectant, is what I made it for, to kind of protect your skin from the weathering. Honestly, if too hot or too cold, you know, when you're too cold, your skin gets the ashy, the dry, the tightness. It helps with that, completely relieves it. When your skin is too moist, you kind of sweat, and you also kind of just leave your pores open for more bacteria to get in, which causes like acne and other like spontaneous breakouts. So the lotion is great for protecting your face and your hands for that stuff.
Now,
and the body butter,
which is
body butter is for everything. You could use the body butter everywhere you want.
I love this case. Like, fuck.
You could use the body butter after the shower. I would prefer after the showers when your pores are open.
It's not that strong at all. It's really not.
I had it on yesterday.
It kind of reminds me of ice cream smell, because it's like it hits you a little bit, but it's not like overpowering. So yeah, that's smooth.
If you think you're smelling chocolate, that's just the natural smell of cocoa butter.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was, to be real. That's what I thought I was smelling. So I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, when it comes to this show, yes, we are pushing topics that are both serious and more lighthearted. Yes, we're going to be doing segments, so let me do everything. But there's also a platform for all those entrepreneurs out there that want to get your name out and get your product out, and you have something to show. This is the place to do it, because a lot of times you're not going to get that push everywhere else. We will give you that push in full, as you can see. So we want to make sure we thank Obsidian, who will continue to be our main sponsor. But if anybody else wants to come along and also use this as your platform to launch your product, by all means, hit us up. You will most firmly be talking to Wash. He is our go-to for all that type stuff. He's a little off camera right now, but he's trying to get life set back up, because, you know, it ain't easy being, you know, multiple guy over there. I think you got it, bro. But it's all good. At the end of the day, Obsidian, amazing products by Amazing guy who's worked his ass off at his LLC. So you know it's not just some dumb shit at the back. No, LLC actually went and took time and energy and money to make this shit happen. So again, anybody cares.
And we are on a Zoom call right now, so it will be very easy. Please listen to Julian. We want to push all entrepreneurs. We want to help people reach the next level. So definitely reach out to us. You'll just be another square right here sharing your product. So
damn right.
Entrance, I'm just saying, if you just have like a comic book strip, please go ahead.
Yes, we do love us some comics. Bring comics here.
Or video games.
Oh yes.
We'll push video games all day.
Animation.
Animation or hold on, shoes. Right over here.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is the shoe king over here.
Clothing lines, yeah. You know what?
Yeah. Clothing lines,
I want to
shoes.
be an
I'm gonna be honest, I'm
entrepreneur.
a white guy in that matter, so
I got on some water those. Don't worry about it.
this one, no. Okay, now this one is not one you're gonna want to push for those products. However, there is one slogan you need to remember for the rest of your life, and we think it as a crew is very important. Do we not?
First off, it says again, your loyalty should end when jail begins.
Point blank period.
I don't know what is all this non-snitching culture, but if you want to spend the night in jail, you're stupid.
I'm singing like a bird,
culture?
man. I'm humming and I'm singing like a bird. Who do you want? You want the first, last, middle name? You want the birthday, social? What do I got to do? I'm not going to jail. All 40, wherever we'll figure out where Ryan's going at some point. By next time we'll know.
I was never built for jail. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Jail is not a great place to be at.
I'm good.
What type of 3 square meals a day?
I gotta agree with the not built for jail though. I'm not built for jail.
I'm really not. I'm not good for that. They can go. I'll put them in jail before I go to jail. They'll sell me out. I'll sell them out. Loyalty ends when jail begins.
As always, I would just like to thank everybody, for tuning in. Please like, comment,
share,
and make sure you subscribe. So until next time, people, deuces, peace out.